fucking go.
What? Did this guy just say what I think he did? That is a snippet from a debate from April 2019 which led to Vaush's ban from Twitch. Now, I was not able to find the whole thing. Vaush privated it on YouTube. The only thing I was able to find was a statement that Vaush made around the time of his ban explaining his version of what happened. Now, according to Vaush, all he did was some harsh criticism of Israel.
I was reading a very fashy article which was defending Israeli imperialism in the Middle East, and I went pretty hard criticizing Israel there.
And since the full video is no longer available to prove him otherwise, we just have to take him on his word, right? Well, not so fast.
Not by invading them.
Well, okay, what's another solution? What's your solution?
Are you... really? Okay, first of all, Israel needs to fucking go. They are not a catalyst for Middle Eastern success. They are an agitator. They are a thorn in the side of the Middle East.
If they demilitarize a particular area, guess what? There's like 4 other countries which want to destroy Israel.
Yeah, all very validly. Israel is a massive fucking economic and political threat to the countries in that area. You realize that all the nations in the Middle East have every reason to fucking hate Israel, right? Like, you realize the Middle East would be calmer if they succeeded and obliterated Israel, if they nuked it and wiped it off the map. That would lead to a more peaceful Middle East than one that exists right now.
Look, man. Listen, this is not just someone making harsh criticism of Israel. These are statements defending the idea that the genocide of the Israeli people is a tenable solution to the tension in the Middle East. Even if he doesn't really mean it, which I don't know, this is indefensible, and the fact that Vaush never made a public apology for these statements is a problem. In fact, he seems to think he didn't say anything wrong at all, and that is a strong indication of someone harboring some anti-Semitic sentiment, since Jews are 75% of the population of Israel. Okay, this will be a bit of a shocker to some of you on the left, but it's perfectly possible to make harsh criticism of the Israeli government and the Israeli army without making anti-Semitic comments. Like, you know, advocating for the genocide of the Israeli people. If you don't harbor any anti-Semitic sentiment at all, you have no problem doing that. Vaush's fans, of course, say that it was just a joke, you know, just a casual gag about murdering 6 million Jews, no big deal. I'm pretty sure the same joke was very popular at family gatherings in Berghof.
First of all, Israel needs to fucking go.
Anti-Semitic statements are, however, just one of the many objectionable things Vaush has said since he entered the online political scene. Now, I didn't do that brilliant musical introduction only to impress you all with my singing voice. And by brilliant, I of course mean cringe. In fact, I have, very cleverly so, inserted in that parody references to almost every shady thing you need to know about Vaush. Even I sometimes get amazed about how brilliant I am. And by brilliant, I of course mean cringe. Now I know you all came here just to see me spill the tea, but before I do that, there are some unfinished business from part 1 that I need to address. In part 1, we responded to a rather old video, which might have been a bit of a letdown to some of you. The reason is because I had no time to do the response video earlier. In fact, I had planned to do the response video all the way back in March when the drama between Vaush and Ariel Scarcella was trending. But other stuff happened and I ended up postponing it. Also, when I started doing some digging on Vaush for that video, I found out a lot of the other stuff about him that we're gonna go through in this video, which made me decide to put it all together in one long video. But as I was working on this video, I had a heart attack, which delayed things quite a bit, and that's why I released the response video as part 1. And the reason why I chose that video to respond to is because it was the first time that I had major problems with Vaush. I mean, I have agreements and disagreements with him politically, which is fine, normal, but the demeaning way in which he addressed Ariel Scarcella in that video was, in my view, misogynistic. Vaush wasn't just attacking her views and her opinions, he was attacking her personally and using her womanhood against her. And as we'll see in this video, there is some sort of pattern with Vaush with doing that sort of thing. And as I said in the introduction, a lot of the shady shit you need to know about Vaush is in my stupid music video. Na, 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 na. Vaush has been around the internet political scene for quite some time. He started as an active member of Destiny's community, often engaging in debates and conversations with Destiny himself. However, he wasn't always known as Vaush. Back when he started to engage with that community, he was known as Irish Laddie, and the story of how he dissociated himself from that name is a dirty, depraved, and sordid one. The oldest register of Irish Laddie that I found on YouTube was a live stream with Destiny back in 2015, days after Vaush graduated in sociology. And it's pretty clear in that stream that by that time in 2015, Vaush was already a well-known member of that community. I don't know exactly when Irish Laddie began to stream his own content on Twitch, since his account was deleted and I was not able to find that information anywhere, but Vaush's oldest YouTube video is from January 2019, and in that video he already tells his audience that he was choosing the name Vaush over the name Irish Laddie.
Some of you know me as Irish Laddie, probably most of you actually, but I chose that username when I was 11 years old and had a shaky sense of national identity. So from now on I'll be going as Vaush.
At around that time in 2019, allegations of sexual harassment against Vaush Irish Laddie was already well known among members of Destiny's community. And around the same time, Vaush started his YouTube channel. Logs of some pretty creepy conversations he had with some members of that community were leaked. Destiny decided to have a live stream on his channel, reading through these logs and eventually having a conversation with Vaush himself. Now, before we have a look at that now infamous live stream, it's important that we understand what the allegations were and the context in which they were made. The main allegation is that in 2017, Vaush had made some sexual advances against Discord user Poppy after she had asked him to stop. When Poppy leaked her conversations with Vaush, she only leaked parts of it. So in order to put everything in context, Vaush released the whole thing unedited. And this unedited version is the one we're gonna go through. By the way, link to that is in the description down below. First conversation took place on September 13, 2017. It begins with Vaush asking the girl if she thinks he's sexist, to which she replies,
"I don't really know you, but I'd say you're probably sexist."
Vaush seems to get defensive and then tells her,
"I stand by my earlier promise, my dong, anytime."
The girl is grossed out by his proposal, but he continues to flirt with her.
"You gotta say, my experiences with anal are not reflective of that of all women, and I'm sure I would learn to enjoy it if I were by an alpha chad like Irish Laddie."
The conversation then moves on to a discussion about the size of their genitals, and Vaush offers to send her a picture of his penis, which she rejects. The conversation ends with Vaush apologizing for misunderstanding her signals. The next day, Vaush once again refers to his genitals, and after the girl shows little interest, he directly asks her if she's asking him to stop flirting with her. Her response is very clear.
"Please, don't flirt with me."
The girl then explains the reason for her mistrust of men, and Vaush at first seems very understanding, but a few minutes later, he starts referring to the size of his genitals again.
"If I were told that I have a gorgeous and well-proportioned penis with a pleasant musky odor matched only by its impressive size, that would be both a compliment and the truth."
Ew.
2 days later, the girl opens up about her poor mental health, and Vaush says he noticed how she has low self-esteem, but that doesn't stop him from, one more time, offer her his dong, which she again rejects. She finally asks him what is the secret to stop him from bringing up his dong in their conversations, and Vaush says,
"I'll stop bringing it up. I don't want to harass you."
On the 18th, Vaush asks the girl to shave her head, and without wasting any time, he says,
"I love femmes with shaved heads. If you do it, I'll fly to your province and you."
Later on that same day, he tries to flirt with the girl one more time.
"Well, let me know if you want me to fly over."
Ew. Gross.
2 days later, he sends her a blurred picture, claiming to be a picture of his genitals, but in fact it was a picture of his knee. Upon receiving the picture, the girl immediately says,
Please do not send me pics. I'll block you.
In the next few days, their friendship clearly starts to deteriorate and the chats become less frequent. In January 2018, the girl finally confronts Vaush for his repeated unwelcome sexual advances and then accuses him of not respecting her boundaries. That's where the chat log ends. There is also evidence that shows that before these logs were published, Vaush tried to intimidate Poppy into silence. Now, Vaush and Poppy used to be close friends, and they had a pretty ugly public falling out, and during that process when they were fighting, Vaush said some terribly misogynistic things to her. Also, in a very long thread on Twitter, she also claimed that Vaush's girlfriend and some members of Vaush's community severely harassed her when she decided to bring these issues to Destiny. Now, I didn't see any evidence that Poppy has provided corroborating this claim. Closest thing that I found to evidence was a claim made by one of Destiny's Discord admins, who goes by the name of Cake, who said that Vaush asked him to cover up numerous allegations of sexual harassment against him. However, I didn't see him posting any evidence to corroborate his claims either. But the thing I found the dodgiest in all of it is that some of Vaush's most loyal mods, especially White Nervosa, tried to come up with a plan of using Vaush's both names, Vaush and Irish Laddie, in order to confuse the public and doctor those chat logs to completely dissociate Vaush from Irish Laddie. To his credit, Vaush didn't listen to his advisors, and after this was published, he really didn't try to bury it, because honestly, try to bury anything on the internet is kind of pointless. And it usually has the opposite effect, it's known as the Barbara Streisand effect. But the fact that he has changed his name when all of this was going on really helped distancing himself from that episode. All posts on Reddit from around January and March 2019, when all of this thing blew up in Destiny's community, are referring to Irish Laddie, not Vaush. And since Irish Laddie is a long dead name by now, those who are not involved in Destiny's community at the time or just came to know Vaush much later are either unaware of this, or if they eventually hear about the story, they will hear Vaush's perspective only. So the name change undoubtedly helped Vaush, but can we say that he did change his name deliberately, trying to hide this whole thing? Well, I don't know, but honestly, it isn't far-fetched. Even though this whole thing blew up after Vaush decided to change his name from Irish Laddie to Vaush, Poppy had been making those allegations in that community for quite some time. People who are active in Destiny's community around that time already knew about those allegations since beginning middle 2018, so they might have had an influence in Vaush's rebranding. It's not absurd. Now, Poppy wasn't the only person who made allegations about Vaush being creepy. Destiny actually said in his stream that a lot of people came to him with those sort of allegations of Vaush being pushy, being creepy, and some saying that he sexually harassed them. But only 2 people provided evidence for those claims. The first one was Poppy and the second was Pastel, who also released her chat logs. And in those leaked logs, we also see Vaush having the same pattern of pushy, creepy behavior towards Pastel that he had towards Poppy. I mean, after Pastel tells Vaush that she's not interested, he continues to make sexual advances. And in my opinion, that is sexual harassment. Now, all of this blew up in Destiny's community when Destiny decided to read through these chat logs in a live stream in January 2019. And at first, Destiny didn't want to have Vaush in his live stream to defend himself, but eventually he changed his mind and thought it was a good idea to allow Vaush to give some explanations. For some reason, I don't know why, this stream has been deleted from Destiny's channel. You can't find it in his channel anymore. However, if you put your ninja hacker skills to work like I did, you can still find some re-uploads around. Now, to avoid getting this video flagged, I'm only gonna show some very short clips from that stream.
Generally, in the past, I feel as though you've been a little bit more cautious with your rhetoric when talking about slander or accusations against public figures.
We've gotten these complaints for like, I think about a year, where like you've been like really sexually aggressive from a variety of people.
Okay.
Yeah, that you're like really sexually aggressive. Generally, I ignore them because I don't really care. But man, that collection of logs was, that was some pretty sweat-stitty stuff there, man.
In my combos with Poppy, because that's the main figure here, she's been trying to get me in trouble for like years in this community, and has succeeded to some extent. This is not new drama. All of this has been discussed before. After months of them calling me a rapist, they were then making weirdly kind of like, oh, he's not bad comments, which frustrated me. So I sent like, hey, fuck you. If I sent you a dick pic, you just leak it and use it as more evidence against me. Given the context and given that prior she'd spent months harassing
Hold on.
these are cut up segments of a conversation over a period of months from a very, very long chat log between her and I, in which there is no evidence of me harassing, threatening, sending nude pics, or demanding nude pics. I completely rethought how I talk to people online after this Poppy debacle, and since then I have been really fucking careful about engaging with people, because I am, and I hate to pull this out, because this sounds like some bullshit-ass fucking invalid self-defense, but I am autistic. Sometimes I misread social signals.
So as you can see, Vaush is claiming that he was a victim of manipulation, he was slandered, and so on. And his main defenses is that he was taken out of context and that he is neurotypical. But context, as you see, doesn't really make him look much better. And yeah, I get the fact that he's neurotypical has some influence in how he struggles to understand social cues, but those two people were very clear that they were not interested in flirting with Vaush, and he continued to do it. So I don't think being neurotypical is an acceptable excuse in this case. At that time, a lot of people were asking Vaush to make a public apology, acknowledge that he made a mistake. And initially he was very reluctant to do it, but eventually he gave in. He released a video on his channel titled "In Regards to Recent Drama, Explanations, Context, and Apology." By the way, I can't help noticing that this video was uploaded on April 1st, which is a very funny day to make a public apology. His apology video got a lukewarm reception because despite admitting that he fucked up, that he made a mistake, he was quite hesitant to call it sexual harassment.
Do those things make me a sexual harasser? And I've thought about it over the past few days. The question seems a little leading. You can probably tell where I got. And the answer is that it doesn't really matter what I think. The logs are public. They're out there. People can see them. People have read them. And then they have accused me of engaging in sexual harassment. And far be it from me, somebody who smashes linguistic prescriptivists, to say that I've engaged in those behaviors, but not sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is what we define it to be, and the definition seems to have been laid out.
And later on, when he was saying that he was trying to get better and reflecting on his behavior, he also brought up the fact that, you know, he's just a product of the systemic sexism that exists and toxic masculinity. I don't think he used that word, but whatever. Some people saw it as him trying to diminish his personal responsibility for doing the things that he did.
The tendencies that I demonstrated towards callousness and fastidiousness and ignorance and, well, harassment, these are not mere symptoms of my poor behavior. They're also a product of broader social problems, which we know exist. I mean, if you're watching this video, you're probably lefty. You know, you're probably with me on that.
I have some mixed feelings about the apology video. It comes across as sincere, the fact that he recognizes that he made some mistakes, the way he treated Poppy in those chat logs. But it doesn't seem that he really acknowledges the things that he said to her after that. Because he said some pretty awful things about her that were actually completely gratuitous.
Poppy talks about taking a 4-minute shower. A couple of people don't know that you can take a 4-minute shower. People argue it. And then out of nowhere, you come in with the Poppy knows my deep dish prolapse dicking bloodline technique and blah, blah, blah. And this is like completely out of nowhere.
And to me, his poor behavior is not only about how he sexually harassed Poppy and, in my opinion, Pastel, but the male entitlement that he showed throughout the whole thing. I mean, after Poppy came out with her allegations, Vaush often referred to her in an extremely demeaning way. And she had reasons to be upset at him. And in my opinion, this lack of acknowledgement from Vaush's part of the way he behaved towards Poppy reflects on the way he treated Ariel Scarcella on the stream that we covered in part 1. A few months later, in September, Vaush released another apology, this time on Reddit. On a post titled "A Retrospective on a Sexual Harassment Drama," Vaush gives a more satisfying apology to Poppy, and he also addresses the allegations made by Pastel, which he barely talked about in his apology video. Vaush says there are many details about his relationship with Pastel that would excuse a lot of his behaviors in those chat logs, but this exculpatory evidence isn't available to the public. Now, I can't be the judge of that. I can only make a judgment based on information that is available. And based on that evidence, I think Vaush has sexually harassed Pastel and he never apologized for it. But at At least he acknowledges in that Reddit post that his behavior towards Pastel was not okay, which is something to consider, I guess. Now, in my opinion, that post on Reddit is Vaush's best statement on the matter. And even though I have some reservations about it, I do think that it's enough for people to stop giving him shit about it and allow him to improve. This tea is cold. Let's get some fresh one.
I have yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument as to why possession of child pornography should be illegal. Should consuming child porn be legal? I think that would be, yes, more legal and more ethically consistent. Yes, 100%. Should consuming child porn be legal? I think that would be, yes.
You're an adult, she's a child.
Okay.
There are laws protecting children.
Okay.
Do you get why teen girls at a certain age cannot give consent?
You're not asking yourself the real question. And that question is, how old is 15 really?
Now, I know that everything I've shown you so far is pretty old, stale drama, but I think it's important for us to remember the details of how that whole drama developed. Because Vaush says he's a new man, he has changed from his Irish laddie days, but has he really? Well, to know that, we have to see how Vaush had behaved in all the dramas he's been involved since, and there had been quite a few. For example, when basketball star Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash in January, most people were pretty upset about it, especially because his 13-year-old daughter died with him in the crash. However, Vaush had a different reaction. Friendly reminder that being glib about the death of multi-millionaire rapists is actually a good thing and a prerequisite to being a leftist. Which prompted a response from YouTuber Shuahead. The assault case fell through and he's just a basketball star. I thought you hated people who exploit the labors of others? This is like someone celebrating your death over those chat logs and the fact that you are a successful YouTuber. Now, Shu's insight is very accurate in many ways. Vaush is at this point a pretty successful YouTuber, and the more successful he gets, the more his income will increase. If Vaush reaches millions of subscribers and become pretty well off, should he be shamed for his success, that he earned it through his own work? Because it seems here that he thinks Kobe Bryant is somewhat at fault for being successful. Bryant had a contract. He was a worker. It's not his fault that basketball stars make millions of dollars. He just took advantage of it, but who else wouldn't in his position? He was just playing basketball. That's all he was doing. He didn't do anything wrong to be shamed for it. It's ridiculous. You know, it's completely different from a tycoon exploiting child labor in Asia. That is something that a leftist should be upset about, not some basketball player who's just playing basketball. But him having a go at Kobe Bryant due to his success as a basketball player is nearly as hypocritical as him having a go at Kobe Bryant due to his sexual assault case. In his tweet, Vaush called Kobe Bryant a rapist in order to make him look bad as a person. At the same time, Vaush often complains about people bringing up his past, the fact that he has sexually harassed someone in order to make him look bad as a person. Also, the way the whole sexual harassment drama involving Vaush has developed shares so many similarities, even though in a smaller scale, with the case of sexual assault involving Kobe Bryant. In 2003, Kobe Bryant was arrested for allegedly sexually assaulting an hotel employee, and the case went to court. The criminal case was dismissed after the alleged victim declined to testify. But Bryant, after listening to her, has reflected upon his behavior and made a public apology to her and her family, and said that despite not thinking that he committed sexual assault that night, he said his behavior was appalling, and he felt really embarrassed and ashamed for it. And that is similar to the way Vaush responded to his allegations. Bryant admitted his behavior was unacceptable and he apologized. But that makes you wonder, why did Vaush bring this up in the first place? Does he think Kobe's apology was insincere? If you remember, Vaush was very reluctant in apologizing for his mistakes, so maybe he just did so out of pressure and because it was good PR? When he decided to attack Kobe, was he just projecting his own insincerity on Kobe Bryant? I don't know, but it does make you wonder. Later in March, there was a whole drama with Ariel Scarcella that we thoroughly covered in part 1, and Vaush also believes that in that case he did nothing wrong. But of all dramas that Vaush has got himself into in the last couple of years, the one that really makes you wonder whether he has improved or not was the one involving Australian right-wing comedian Isaac Butterfield. Sometime in the beginning of 2020, Vaush made a stream responding to Isaac Butterfield. I don't know exactly when that video was made because the video has been unlisted, deleted, privated, I don't know, and I could not find re-uploads anywhere. But in that video, Vaush calls Butterfield a groomer, suggesting that he is a map. Oh wait, the pedos are rebranding is actually pair now. Wise up, children.
So first of all, this guy, this groomer, I'm fair saying it, yeah. This guy probably like fucks kids, is like trolling through 14-year-old TikToks.
So you can say whatever you want about me, all right? I don't really give a fuck at all. But to go out there and call someone the worst thing in the world, a pedophile or a child groomer, is fucking outrageous, cunt. Are you serious?
So in a matter of months, Vaush went from defaming a dead man as a rapist to defaming a living one as a fucking pedophile. Way to show how you have matured, Vaush. Well done. But that wasn't even the worst of it.
They have an ulterior motive. They're trying to have sex with women. And they don't have the ability to do...
I hear this one a lot, like the all-male feminists just want to have sex with women. And let me tell you guys something, okay? It works. I was slaying pussy like crazy in college.
Yikes! Oh, fuck it. I need a real fucking drink. Okay, let's see if I can find it. Ow! Pointy. Ah, got it. Fucking lifesaver. Ah, fuck yeah. That's the shit, man. That's the fucking shit. Okay, where the fuck was I? Oh yeah, feminism. How the fuck someone with Vaush's history brags about being a womanizing feminist while defaming a guy as a pedophile? What the fuck was he thinking? Now, after Butterfield made a response to the train wreck of a stream, and Butterfield has a much larger audience than Vaush, Vaush had to take the L. He did a short response on his channel, admitting that he fucked up, but very hesitant to make an apology to Butterfield.
My first video on Isaac was a little fucked up. When I was watching his response and he was insulting my appearance, and he called me a sexual predator, and he made fun of the ear keloid things or whatever, which I get pretty often, so that's not too hurtful or whatever. I was thinking, damn, this guy went pretty hard against me. But then as he went further into the video, he showed my original video, and I called him like a groomer, like a lot. Like, calling a person a groomer once is a funny, hilarious joke that we should all try out sometime or another. But later on in my original video, the one I never released, I said it like multiple times. I made like, and one of them was pretty deadpan. Now, I was joking. This guy probably like fucks kids. Joking. I don't actually believe that being weird about people on TikTok is an indication that a person is a sexual predator. But the way that I came off was, I think, honestly, really inappropriate. I'm being serious.
Again, he pretty much downplayed what he said as a joke. Yeah, just a joke, like his joke about nuking Israel, and his recent joke stereotyping black women.
Joe Biden believes we can't think for ourselves, that the color of someone's skin dictates their political views.
All right, here's my theory. There is exactly one black woman who's voting Republican, and it's Candace Owens, and she has a cloning facility somewhere. Because every single motherfucking black woman in America talks the exact same way. The exact same fucking way, okay? Holy shit. First of all, they all do that with their hair. I've never seen a black woman repping Republicans who had kinky hair.
I mean, that was a racist joke, but you know, she was conservative, so it's all kosher, right? Well, no. It's wrong. Political content on YouTube is actually, for the most part, drama videos. I mean, sometimes you get a thoughtful and deep social-political behavioral analysis of interlocutory actors in the digital political landscape, like this video, but usually It's just YouTuber having a go at on a YouTuber or some public figure. YouTuber spilling the beans about how another YouTuber or public figure has acted morally reprehensible. YouTuber reacting to something really dumb someone said on Twitter, and so on. And people who watch political content on YouTube are mostly after entertainment, just like everybody else. And I say this because people who make political content on YouTube think they're above all that shit. You're not. You're just doing pretty much the same shit that everybody else is doing. Now, I know that this mixture of entertainment and politics is extraordinarily fulfilling, but it's also very problematic. Because for the overwhelming majority of cases, what makes someone become a success in this platform is their personality. Good content will bring people to your channel, and having good videos will make people watch a second video. But what will make them binge, what will make them subscribe and watch all of your videos is your personality, is your style, the way you present yourself on camera. And after building an audience, YouTubers know what their audience likes, what their audience wants to hear. And for political commentators that get involved in controversial and spicy topics all the time, that's an easy path to get too comfy and lazy. In part 1, I responded to a video where Vaush responding a very crappy video by Ariel Scarcella, but Vaush's response wasn't that great either. For example, something like trans people in prison, very complicated topic, especially when you consider trans men into this whole thing. But Vaush doesn't really give a thoughtful analysis of this really complicated stuff involving this serious issue. He just says what his audience wants to hear and then moves to the next topic to have a go at Ariel Scarcella one more time. Because that's what his audience wants. His audience is there just to watch him make fun of Ariel because she's a Trump supporter and has conservative views on gender. And Vaush's channel, for the most part, is just that. Him mocking, owning some conservative commentator. That's entertainment. Now, as I said earlier, this is pretty much what everybody does on YouTube. Vaush isn't doing anything different, so I'm not holding it against him. So in fact, he's been pretty successful at it, so good on him. And the reason is because he has an interesting personality. As I said in part 1, his duality. You know, the fact that in one breath, he's a neckbeard edgelord, and then in the next, he'll be spurging out about the patriarchy and Gamergate. And that does make him interesting and stand out and produce engaging content. It's very entertaining to watch his streams. But this duality is also problematic. And I think to understand better what I mean, we should look at both sides of Vaush separately. As you've seen in part 1, Vaush is the child of a really unlikely couple. Abandoned after his mother ran away in her Prada shoes, little Irish laddie had to find some sense of purpose and self-worth in his life. And he did so by graduating in sociology and becoming a staunch social justice warrior, man bun and everything. And as such, he does what social justice warriors typically do. If someone has some disagreement with them, it must be because they have some sort of phobia. And I think Vaush has changed since we started streaming, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. But he still has, you know, the same SJW talking points. You know, identity politics and what some call critical social justice, which is the critical theory approach to social justice, which is very in vogue in American academia. But unlike the traditional SJWs from 2015, debate bros like Vaush don't block anyone who could potentially disagree with them on site. They actually talk a lot with people who disagree with them. They welcome debate. I mean, Vaush debates a lot. A lot of his content is debating with people.
Debate me, debate me, debate. Enter the ring of logic and reason.
Which means that he had to become a good debater. He had to develop strategies to win debates. And this is where his other half started taking over. In order to be good at debating, you have to be calm, confident, and rather ruthless to your opponent. And apart from the last one, these are not qualities that typical SJWs have. For a long time on YouTube, progressives were seen as weak and incapable of defending their views. They would block people, heavily monitor their comment section, language police everything, have epic meltdowns over edgy humor and political incorrectness, you know, that sort of thing. And outright commentators kind of dominated the political commentary scene on YouTube for quite some time because of that. But there were left-wing and left-leaning YouTubers who did not embrace this pusillanimous approach from the social justice warriors. Especially the ones on the hard left were very adamant in owning the libs and making fun of social justice warriors, which kind of started the anti-SJW movement, which got them nicknamed as the dirtbag left. left because they were especially very politically incorrect. A great example of dirtbag left is the Chapo Trap House podcast and Vaush's absent daddy, the Amazing Atheist. Their rhetoric is typically crass and vulgar, and their logic is simple. In order to beat outright edgelords, you have to become an edgelord yourself. And Vaush wholeheartedly embraces that. So even though he has many of the SJW talking points, he has the rhetoric of dirtbag left. So when he's owning a conservative in his streams, he does so in a very crass and vulgar way. And when this conservative happens to be a member of a minority group which he claims to be a champion of, sometimes he ends up attacking them for those characteristics that make them a minority in the first place. And that is exceptionally hypocritical. And the only way some of his attitudes can be justified by himself and by his audience is if they are branded as a joke and because they are made towards conservatives. It's like if your target is conservative, you can say and do anything to them.
I hate conservatives. Do I hate black conservatives?
How about black ones?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I do love all people, but I hate black conservatives and white conservatives.
Why do you hate black conservatives?
I hate all conservatives.
Vaush used racial and sexist stereotypes to mock a black woman.
I've never seen a black woman repping Republicans with kinky hair.
No problem, because she's conservative. Vaush made a joke about nuking Israel in order to end the instability in the Middle East.
First of all, Israel needs to fucking go.
No problem, because the Israeli government is conservative. Vaush made a misogynistic attack on a lesbian YouTuber because of her views on gender.
That's not a label, you stupid cunt!
No problem, because she's a fucking conservative. You got the point. And in the end, that makes Vaush and his fanboys extremely cynical. Often, Vaush takes positions that are completely contradictory to what he claims to be his core values in order to win an argument. And during this presidential election, he got way worse. To give you a couple of examples. In a recent video, he defended Nancy Pelosi for not wanting to reach a deal with the Republicans for a stimulus package deal to help millions of struggling Americans during the pandemic until after the election, because making the deal before the election would make Trump look good.
What the Republicans are playing right now is, you don't get to pass stimulus aid unless we say you do.
Well, that's because the Republicans have the Senate, Vaush. Welcome to representative democracy, bitch.
And you're only doing it right now to aid Trump in his election, and it will be a minimal amount, motherfucker. They're just focusing on this, the 1.8 trillion. Okay, Vaush, but what about all the people who need the help? What do you think will happen to those people if Trump's odds for victory are raised by this, and then Trump wins the election? See, that's the thing. We're not just playing immediate relief, we're playing long-term relief. This is a utilitarian nightmare.
So him, who proclaims himself as a socialist, is saying that the Democrats should let billions of Americans struggle in order to elect Joe fucking Biden. After losing the election, Donald Trump backed down on his $1.8 trillion proposal, so it's very unlikely that there will be any stimulus package until after Joe Biden's inauguration in January 2021, when a vaccine for COVID-19 may be already available. Americans needed help right now, and the Democrats blew the chance to give it to them to marginally increase their odds of winning the election. This is a complete betrayal of everything Vaush claims to stand for. This is not pragmatism. This is just plain cynicism. Vaush also dismisses and attacks anyone who reminds people that Biden and Harris aren't the pinnacle of progressivism. Like when Twitter user Katyusha made this tweet. This was Vaush's response. Dipshits desperately reaching to equivocate dawdling neoliberals with literal fascists. Now both Biden and Trump have sexual assault allegations against them, quite a few, so nobody's reaching here. And Kamala Harris has indeed let trans people down. Look, Vaush video, if that really is your name. In 2015, the top cop as Attorney General of California denied gender reassignment to an inmate who had been diagnosed with gender dysphoria for quite some time. Thankfully, a federal judge and a fucking king overturned Harris's decision, claiming that it violated the 8th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. An inmate named Michel was finally allowed to transition. So after all that talk about trans rights in prison from the Ariel Scarcella video, Vaush here is attacking a person who brought up Harris's appalling record regards to trans women inmates, as if it's outrageous to speak the truth when the truth is inconvenient. That's not pragmatism, that's cynicism. Now Now, did I make this video because I want to see Vaush get cancelled? Well, first, according to Vaush, that wouldn't even be possible since cancelling isn't really a thing. Well, except when people try to cancel him or people that he likes, then cancelling is a thing. But regardless, this is not what I'm trying to do. I made this video to criticize the fact that many leftists on the internet, especially on what is called BreadTube, often seem to think that they are beyond reproach. Like, even if they fuck up royally, they make up some excuse like it was just a joke, and they often just get away with it. No apology, no accountability, no nothing. And that creates this environment that if you are on the right side of history, you can just get away with any shit. The culture of there are no bad tactics, just bad actors. Also, there is this issue I have with BreadTubers who say that they are fighting the establishment, abolish capitalism, blah blah blah, but they're literally simping for neoliberal Democrats during time of election. You know, it's like they're LARPing as socialists for 3 years, you know, saying all those nice and subversive things that edgy otaku kids really want to hear, but they actually just want these kids to vote Democrat. This is what this is about. They're just Democrats.
Well, the most we can really do as Democrats.
Not regarding Vaush specific, I think his contribution to political discourse is, for the most part, positive. He was fundamental on the deprogramming of Hunter Avalon, for example, and that was a major thing, something Vaush should be really proud of.
I was getting called out by this YouTuber Vaush, and I agreed to debate him, and I got wrecked. During our debate, Vaush made some excellent points, specifically about LGBT issues, that I simply couldn't refute.
And as someone who is not a fan of PC culture and generally being left, like myself, I often agree with what Vaush has to say. But there is always room for improvement, and that is what this video is about. Now, looking at all the controversies that we went through in this video. First, I don't think Vaush is anti-Semitic. I mean, he has debated Nazis, Holocaust deniers, anti-Jew conspiracies, so yeah, I don't think he is anti-Semitic. But he made anti-Semitic comments. The comment on nuking Israel was anti-Semitic, and he never really apologized for it, never really owned up to his mistake, and his fans keep thinking that he says nothing wrong, and that is a problem. And honestly, I would expect more from someone who is so serious about fighting Nazism and anti-Semitism as he is. Same with those racist comments he made about conservative black women. I don't think Vaush is a racist guy, but he made a racist joke.
I've never seen a black woman repping Republicans who had kinky hair.
It wasn't blatantly racist, but it was racist nevertheless. It was a bad joke. He was live streaming, trying to be edgy. I get that. But he made a bad joke and he should have, you know, apologized for it. Take responsibility. And what it seems to me is that he doesn't have the sense of personal responsibility to own up to his mistakes. And it's just becoming easier and easier for him to get away with this shit because, you know, he has a growing army of fanboys who keep making excuses for him every time he fucks up. And yeah, that does remind me a lot of his daddy, the Amazing Atheist. Or Sargon of Akkad. But when it comes to his sexism, I do think things are more serious. So many times in progressive circles, we've seen feminists take advantage of women and the fact that women trust them. You know, they pose as these fervorous allies of feminism and women's rights, but they're only trying to get pussy. We saw that in Richard Carrier, David Silverman, allegedly.
Penis.
Louis C.K., Bill Cosby, and most notably Harvey Weinstein. Now, to my knowledge, there hasn't been any credible sexual harassment allegation against Vaush since those incidents in 2017, but it wouldn't be a complete surprise to me if something comes up. You know, because of his history of being creepy and because of the way he has behaved with women since that happened, you know, which we covered extensively in these 2 videos. So I'm not really convinced that he has changed as much as he claims, to be honest. So I would say to women and girls who hang around him, whatever, be careful. And you don't have to take my word for it, just listen to Vaush himself.
I feel like the internet is really, really bad at detecting predators. All YouTubers are pedophiles, except me. Should consuming child porn be legal? I think that that would be, yes, more legal and more ethically consistent, yes.
I have yet to hear one convincing argument for why child pornography should be illegal. I know.
This guy probably like fucks kids. This clip has been public for years. There is a very specific type of social condition YouTube celebrities find themselves in that makes it very easy for them to be predators and get away with it. If a predatory person had my level of power, they could do an unbelievable amount of damage. All male feminists just want to have sex with women, and let me tell you guys something, okay? It works. I was slaying pussy like crazy in college. I've worked to change my behavior since then, and I'm going to continue to work to change my behavior in the future. So I'm joking, That clip that we just looked at, that wasn't a leak. That's been known for years. This is one of the things that's really fucked up about abusers. Everything looks really crystal clear in retrospect, okay? Have you guys watched my channel before? That's feminists for you. Is that these stupid femoids for you? Can I say that? Is that sexist? You've watched my videos. You know that I'm not rid of male entitlement. The internet is willing to give any excuse whatsoever to defend their parasocial daddies, and one of the biggest excuses we give is that it's just a joke. Where you can just say something's a joke and it doesn't matter. Is being edgy funny? The answer obviously is yes. People who do not follow manners usually have other shit going on with them. When I look through this bitch's channel, everything else becomes clear in retrospect. And that ultimately is the biggest fucking problem here. And we need to be looking out for the signals, you stupid cunt, if we want to predictively prevent bad behavior on the part of public figures. Again, I submit this to the jury. A long-standing history of freak behavior tends to correlate pretty hard to predatory behavior. And the reason I believe this is because every time one of these big Me Too moments happens, very rarely is this completely out of the blue. Someone turned out to be a rapist. The normalization of their behavior. That's the number one thing that predators can do to get people on board with their behavior. How about we fucking pay attention to behavior? Even to the people you like.
Big thank you to all of you who subscribe to this channel, and a massive ultra thank you to all of my dear patrons. I know times are rough. Your support means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like and subscribe to this channel. It would mean a lot to me if you did. Thank you. I've been Michel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.